Thembisa, welcome and thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, South Africa is taking up chairmanship, I believe, for the second time since 2009 when BRICS was formed. What exactly does that entail?
Well, it's a rotational presidency, so it's South Africa's 10 in 2023. So it's mainly, chairing the meetings of BRICS and advancing the agenda of BRICS. Whether South Africa will achieve much, we don't know. BRICS has not really achieved much except for the establishment of the new development bank, which has since accepted or received applications for infrastructural development in several countries, but they have not been working as fast and as efficient as we all thought they would be by now. So hopefully Cyril Ramaphosa will add some impetus in terms of what the purpose of BRICS is all about and advance the agenda of BRICS in 2023.
That would entail a very busy year then for President Cyril Ramaphosa. I mean, with the elections happening in 2024, in solidifying South Africa amongst G20, and also just that balancing act between the relations and the trade relations that South Africa is building with the West, and also having to sit at the table with Russia, especially with the Ukraine war. It's going to entail quite a lot from him.
It is going to be a very busy year. Not only that, there is also that other minor responsibility of leading the country, which we have not talked about. So over and above all of these responsibilities that we have Cyril Ramaphosa who still has to run the country that's been, experiencing load shedding, experiencing slow growth in terms of the economy, and he's committed fighting of corruption, but importantly also unifying his party, the ANC, which is what he has promised, and that's part of the resolution of the governing ANC. So it's going to be very busy for him. This is notwithstanding, of course, that there will be those other side issues that will seek to disrupt him from his agenda, including the ongoing legal challenges that he will be facing on Phala. So it's going to be quite a busy year for President Cyril Ramaphosa. But at the same time, I think he understands his responsibility and he understands that moving into the last 5 years, at least for him as the president of the ANC, he has a lot to achieve. But importantly for BRICS and the African continent, he also needs to play a significant role.
And speaking of that significant role, especially for the African continent, I know we have countries such as Saudi Arabia, Egypt and Algeria that are looking to join BRICS. But how much of a role does South Africa actually play as a mouthpiece for the rest of the continent on the BRICS bloc?
Well, South Africa has been the only African country on the BRICS bloc, and I think it was accepted to the membership of BRICS as a representative of the developing nations in Africa. So it carries a very significant position, and its voice is quite respected as it represents the African countries. So it's an important role player within BRICS, and I think it's going to try and advance the economic agenda of many African countries. Many African countries need to access funding for their own infrastructure development. I've looked at the list of some of the countries that have applied for accessing that funding, which the new development bank is offering. There are no African countries that have applied so far, of course, for various reasons. But I think President Cyril Ramaphosa might want to encourage them to do so, notwithstanding, of course, that there are other competing funding agencies, traditional funding agencies that have had long-standing relationship with African countries, including the World Bank and IMF, which are actually at the moment competing with the new development bank. So it's going to be a very hard and interesting act to balance for President Cyril Ramaphosa.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Fakude, and for that input with regards to BRICS. We do certainly hope that this will be a time for the president to bring together for the African continent some of those benefits of the BRICS bloc.